Thank you. I am honored and very happy to be here today to discuss how artificial intelligence is transforming our lives, both for good and bad. In the days of the great explorers, they had as part of their navigational aids maps would often show potential dangers. These maps would have artistic depictions of mythical and real creatures that would be encountered. They would include lions and bears and whales, as well as a host of imagined creatures, also including a variety of serpents, and warned of faraway lands so dangerous as being inhabited by dragons. So they ventured forth in search of new worlds, exotic places, treasures, with the caution of danger, both real and imagined, of what lay ahead. We find ourselves again explorers. Today, we're exploring the new world of artificial intelligence, and it too has some real and imagined treasures and risks. Some of these rewards include the promise of unimaginable wealth, the discovery of new knowledge, more civilized lives, curated and facilitated by technology. We have already experienced some of these benefits with vehicle automation, improved diagnostic tools in medicine, voice actuated services and equipment, and the list growing every day. One AI technology that must be given special mention is effective computing. This AI technology has the potential to reach children with autism, treat those with troubled minds, or suffering with PTSD. A very powerful treasure indeed. But with any very powerful tool, it can also bring the risk of great harm. The capability of modifying a person's valences, emotional states, even beliefs, without that person's knowledge or consent, is by its very nature high risk and even dangerous if placed in the wrong hands. As a society, how do we choose who should have control of such risks? The intricacies of such a complex that it's difficult to imagine any individual with the knowledge and wisdom to protect basic human rights. And a group also designated to make those choices would carry those same human frailties. So not only is the issue of who decides, but who decides on the deciders must be addressed. Even in today's fledgling applications have been shown to be susceptible to weaknesses in its governance. So how do we manage the risks of as AI continues to grow in its capabilities? Is the mythical all-powerful AI dragon, or is it the specter of real human dragons that we need to fear and do battle? Can we find and recognize modern-day dragon slayers, Galahad's, Gilgamesh's? The world literature dating back thousands of years, and to the present and future spins stories of heroes rescuing the world by facing mythical and real monsters. How do we choose or even recognize the capability to protect human rights, allow for those potential enormous benefits of AI while eliminating the real human dragons? This governance of AI is the dilemma we now face and must address. The one common characteristic, whether heuristic expert systems, data-centric machine learning, chatbots, general purpose AI, and to some future superhuman intelligence, is that data acquisition is the lifeblood of all AI. So let's take a closer look at two examples of how we just might be able to accept this challenge, and that's smart cities and the metaverse. In realizing the benefits of the smart city, data is shared among the technology domains. Energy usage, travel patterns, social activities are shared with utilities, city administrators, and law enforcement in what is called data fusion. This can create new knowledge to predict the needs and activities. It also can be used to trace past activities, including very private activities. This creates enormous human rights challenges. In effect, an AI version of thought control. Additionally, this data fusion can be used to ration limited resources, including energy, communications, transportation, and leisure activities. It makes systems extremely prone to social credit use and promotes AI biases. The metaverse also uses data fusion, but brings a whole new dimension to the blurring the lines between illusion and reality. When someone enters a carnival funhouse, they experience a distorted reality, and it's all done in fun. However, in the metaverse, our avatars interact, whether for medical exams, educational purposes, litigating traffic violations, or social activities. So, what if a virtual crime is committed in the metaverse? No real human is actually physically harmed, but the victim of such an instance may have feelings that persist into the real world. Will such experiences carry over into the real world for victims, perpetrators, and even witnesses? What of a simple fantasy promise made in the metaverse? Will it carry over into the real world as litigation, as an enforceable contract? Or will we adopt a what happens in the metaverse stays in the metaverse philosophy? Where and how will we set the boundaries of personal privacy between the virtual worlds versus the real worlds? Privacy is a globally recognized fundamental human right. Will it be respected in the worlds created and facilitated by AI? Well, the one thing we know is privacy, especially in the world of AI, is not easy. We are social beings. We need to interact with others. We need to share parts of our private lives. However, we have a need for privacy. It is not a luxury. It's a basic human need. Without the autonomy to control our privacy, we suffer greatly. But this is not a one-size-fits-all world. Each of us have different needs and levels for privacy. We each have different personality traits, and these differences are measured by a Myers-Briggs personality type indicator. With these 8 personality traits, there are 16 combinations that are on a spectrum between pairs. And are we extroverts or introverts? Are we somewhere in between? Are we outgoing in some situations and wallflowers at other times? Do we always use hard logic in guiding our decisions? Or do we temper those choices with emotions? Or do we even make choices completely on emotion alone, devoid of any kind of logic? Now for the hard question. Would you trust anyone else to know you sufficiently well to make your life choices for you, to know what would make you happy and have a fulfilling and enriching life? Would you trust an aggregated average to determine your life choices? Would you trust a smart city administration to make those choices, or metaverse providers to make those choices for you? And even if you did trust these other agents, are they worthy of that trust? So here we are with a seemingly impossible task. We need our privacy, but we also need to share for a full and enriching life. So how do we reach that balance? Who do we trust in making those decisions on that balance? It would seem that the status quo and recent history of leaving it to the discretion of AI developers, regulators, and experts has been proven to be wholly unsatisfactory. And while the individual may know that balance better than anyone else, it is an unreasonable expectation and burden that we all become aware of all the complexities and consequences of accepting or denying disclosures of our private data. However, it is contended that AI technology itself can provide a solution. What if each of us employed a personal AI agent that transparently oversees and curates those decisions? It is well within AI's technology today. However, although technically feasible, it will require a change of current methods, a paradigm shift that is human-centric, placing human rights and human dignity as a top priority. This personal AI agent would decide on what information to share, when to share it, with who, and for what duration. It would keep records for auditing processes, ensuring that the system was working properly and in compliance with the negotiated disclosures. This AI agent would reside on our smartphones, laptops, or in the clouds, and be our constant companion, acting as our personal agent and guardian of our data. Is it time to finally have AI work for us, creating a global respect for our human rights and human dignity? Thank you for listening. I am eager to continue the discussion at our QA session, or you can contact me directly. Thank you again.